Welcome back to the Spoonie and Caregiver Live podcast with me, your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode, shall we? Now, I have seen this a lot, and not just with spoonies, but with people that are not considered spoonies, or pretty much anybody in general. And what I have seen is that a lot of people right now, especially with everything that's going on, that because we can't be really outside socializing or talking to friends face to face, or even going to work just to see our coworkers or anything like that. I see a lot of people are asking for external validation on social media. Now, this is bad because some of the things that I have seen, especially on social media where you put your videos, you know which one I'm talking about, I see a lot of people asking for validation about how they're feeling or how they look, or even like what they should do, or if they're doing the right things. One case in particular, one video in particular actually stood out for me, and that's why I wanted to create this episode, is because this particular video had a Spoonie, okay? The Spoonie obviously suffering from a certain illness. I don't remember exactly which one, but the person put like, I'm suffering from this illness, and they gave the explanation, and what it asked at the end of the video, it was this particular question: do I look cute even though I have this illness? And what happened in that situation is that nobody liked the video. Nobody commented the video. Or there were a few likes. I liked the video and everything, to provide support. So there were a few likes. But then a few hours later, the same person posted another video asking like, do I look cute in this outfit even if I have my illness? And in that one, again, there were only a few likes, no comments, no shares, no nothing like that. So then a few hours later, the same person posted another video asking like what she should do for her illness, asking for help. And I think the illness was something like gastroparesis or something like that, and I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I don't remember. So there were a few likes, there were no comments. And then the next day, what happened is that this person posted another video where she put that due to the lack of interest or the lack of sympathy on in regards to her illness, she will be quitting social media. And that made me think a lot, because I used to feel that way, where I needed external validation about how I feel, how I look, what I should do, things like that, almost like the videos that this particular person posted online. And what that made me realize after looking back at my own story is that this type of situations, no matter who you are, no matter what you're facing, if you're looking for external validation, that can turn into a trap. The way that it can trap you, like in this case for a Spoonie, is that you're trying to find understanding. The way that I saw it on this videos is that this person was trying to find understanding outside due to her illness, but what sometimes we need to do is understand the illness ourselves. Because if we don't understand what's going on ourselves, or with our illness, or whatever is going on in our lives, if we don't understand it internally, and we literally validate ourselves with whatever is going on, and we start looking for external validations to see if you're doing everything right, to see if you should do certain things, then you're gonna become trapped in this situation where if you don't get the response that you want, then what's gonna happen is that can actually lead to not feeling good about yourself, to not being confident about yourself, to lead to depression. And I have heard some cases, I'm not exactly sure if it's true or not, but I have heard some cases, obviously, that this can lead to bullying as well. But the worst cases that I have heard is that there's been people that have been looking for external validations, posting stuff online. They're not getting the response they need, the followers they want, or the likes they want. And one of the things that happens is that they get depressed. And then unfortunately, because they keep posting it, they keep posting things to try to validate whatever type of validation they're looking for. They get depressed. And then I have heard one case, and like I said, I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, obviously it's messed up, because the person ended up committing suicide due to feeling depressed, due to not having friends, according to what the news said. And this happened a long time ago, so that's why I really don't remember if it was from a reputable source or not. So like I said, this can become a trap. So one of the things that we need to understand is that you need to validate yourself. This is something that I had to learn. Like, I had to validate myself. Like, when I got my diagnosis, I had to validate myself that I was, in this case, facing an illness that might never go away, and it never goes away. And I had to validate my feelings as well. Like, how did I feel about it? Like, I couldn't go ask somebody to validate how I should feel about my own condition when the other person doesn't really understand how I'm feeling or what I'm going through, you know? Like, this happens with anybody. So what you should do, or what we should do in this case, this is, like I said, one of the things that I had to learn how to do. I started validating myself, and because of that, I've been able to become more confident and even understand myself more. And because I'm able to understand myself more, I'm able to express myself in the way that I want to express. The way that I want to express myself. And when I post certain things online and I don't get the likes, or I don't get the following or anything like that, it doesn't bug me at all, because I'm like, I know why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for the attention. I'm not doing this for the likes or anything like that. I'm just doing it to share it, like share the message of hope, share all of this. And that's why it's so important to validate yourself. So one of the ways that I did is that, like I said, like, I don't ask for somebody to tell me how I should feel. If I feel happy or sad or anything like that, that's up to me to say, like, oh, I feel sad, so that's how I'm going to feel. And then I'm going to figure out how to get out of the sadness, or what's making me sad. Or if I feel happy, I'm just gonna act happy, like because there's times where you feel a certain way, you say it, or if you're in pain, or whatever you're going through. Like I said, this podcast is for everybody, but whatever you're going through as Spoonie or caregiver or anybody, you're going through something, and then you say what you're going through, how you feel, and somebody will tell you, like, oh, don't feel pain, you shouldn't feel pain, you took your medicine. Or you shouldn't feel sad when you're surrounded by loving people. You don't feel like this because of whatever reason. Or don't be depressed because of whatever other reason they give you. Like, we shouldn't let people tell us how to feel, because we shouldn't let people control how we feel, because due to that, and this is what happened to me now that I'm thinking about it, since I was little, due to that, when we do that, we don't know how to feel, so we start asking for external validation of our feelings. And if we don't get the validation we want, then obviously, like I have mentioned in the examples that I gave, it can lead to issues, depression, and some people have committed suicide, for what I read online. Which, I mean, it can happen, especially with today's age, especially if there's bullying. Like, there's so many things that could happen. Now, this matters a lot. The reason why it matters is because since we can't go out, since we can't really like have that face-to-face interaction, and we can't really talk to somebody, we want to have that type of validation from external sources. And obviously when we don't get the validation that we want, we might get sick or something like that. Like we can cause the problem that we're trying to avoid, pretty much. I say this because this is what happened to me while I was growing up, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, because it's extremely important to understand this. Like, external validation is not required. It can be taken, it can be, you can use it for your own good, but everything depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody that is negative and is always trying to put you down, or make you feel bad about yourself, obviously stay away from that person. But if you have somebody that can give you like honest opinion about your feelings, then maybe you can take that and literally digest it and pretty much move forward from there. But if you're having issues with external validations, one last thing that I wanted to say is like, you one of the things that helped me in my case, obviously, is going to therapy. Now, if you don't want to go to therapy, that's fine, but you need to find a friend, somebody that is going to understand exactly what you're saying, because they might not understand how you're feeling, but they might understand what you say. And I say this because that happened to me, where I couldn't really talk about my feelings because I never validated them. So that caused a lot of issues with me when I tried to explain how I was feeling, because I didn't know how to explain it. Because every time I try to say something, people will say just like, "Oh, shut up," or "You shouldn't feel like this," you know. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Again, thank you for your time, thank you for your support, thank you for your feedback, thank you for everything. Literally, thanks to you, we're growing. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe so we can grow even more, so more people can actually find this message that we're trying to provide of support and inclusivity to everybody. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you want to share your story, you can post it on the community on Facebook, or you can send it to me at the Spoonie and Caregiver life@gmail.com. And I'll leave you like always. Always take care of yourself and have a great day.